Hello everyone and welcome to the conclusion video for Unit 1 of the Introduction to Data Science module. Congratulations on all the work you've done and learning you've accomplished. In this video I'm going to show you a few things. First of all is how to download the course content from the Jupyter Hub so that you may continue working on this on your personal computer after the end of the course. So there's a couple of ways to go about this. The easiest way is to click into Data Course and click this button that says download as zip. It's a button next to your upload button, and it has a little downward arrow pointing at an icon for a hard disk. If you click that, it'll say zipping. This may take some time, and it will automatically download the content to your machine. Now, this won't work for everyone. What you should get if all's worked well is in the lower left-hand corner of my browser, I now have this datacourse.zip file, which has been automatically downloaded to my downloads folder. This may not work for everyone. Unfortunately, there are some limitations based on browser and operating system for this button. We haven't been able quite to sort out why this fails. I think it most often fails for Mac users. But if you find that this method does not work for you, there is an alternative available. So if we go to New and open up the terminal, we'll see a little terminal emulator here. And we can run the command zip with -R for recursive, meaning we're going to want to not only include files in the directory we specify, but also all subdirectories. So this will recurse through all the subdirectories. We'll say that we want to name the output datacourse.zip, and the directory that we would like to zip up is the data course directory. So we're just going to run this command, which I'll also send out in the email that I use to announce the end of the course and draw attention to this video. And if you run that, you should see a lot of status text get printed out that looks like this, saying adding such and such a file, deflated by such and such amount. If you see that, then it worked. And we can go to our home directory on the Jupyter server. And if we click this checkbox next to our new datacourse.zip file that's shown up, we can click the button to download that. And I click download, and we can see now it's downloading here. So those are the two ways that you can use to download the course material from your machine. If you encounter any difficulties with either of these methods, please send an email to dsmodule@wqu.org. So once you've downloaded the course material, how can you use it? You'll have to install Jupyter on your personal computer. You can get Jupyter from the Anaconda distribution of Python. If you go to anaconda.org and click the download button, or anaconda.com and click download, it will take you to a page like this where you can download the Python 3.7 version of Anaconda for whatever your operating system is. If you are on Mac or Windows, you will be able to access Jupyter through what's called the Anaconda Navigator, I believe. Or you will find just in your start menu a menu for the Jupyter notebooks. If you're on Mac or Linux, you can also launch Jupyter from the command line. On Linux, the way that I launch a Jupyter notebook is simply to say Jupyter notebook, and I put it in the background. But I imagine most of you are Mac or Windows users, and for you, you're probably most comfortable using the graphical interface option, and we'll probably just launch it from there. It's fairly straightforward. The Anaconda distribution comes with many Python data science packages like pandas already installed, and NumPy is already installed, matplotlib is already installed. So most of the packages that we make use of in the course will already be installed as part of your Anaconda Python distribution. If you need to install additional packages, for instance, if you try to import some package and you get an import error and it tells you could not find such and such a package, you may need to install it. I will describe how to install it, but you may need to look up instructions for yourself as well. So in Windows, there is a tool called Anaconda Prompt, which will also be in that Start menu directory where you find Jupyter Notebook or Anaconda Navigator. In Mac or Linux, you simply open up a terminal, and that basically Anaconda Prompt is a emulator, a terminal emulator for doing what I'm about to describe. So if I were working in a terminal emulator and I needed to install some package in my Anaconda Python distribution, I would do conda install and then the name of the package. So for instance, if I was missing NumPy, I could install NumPy. And again, I'll include this command in the email where I draw attention to this this video. If it may sometimes happen that packages are not available on the Conda package manager repositories, in which case you can try pip. Conda and pip are both Python package managers. And in general, you should try not to use both simultaneously, but unfortunately the situation is somewhat unavoidable at the moment because Conda doesn't have every Python package out there in its repositories. If I needed to look up how to do this, I would just probably Google something like conda package install. If we look at this first link, managing packages, it gives me again this command, conda install, whatever the name of the package is. It also has notes on installing non-conda packages, for instance using pip. There's a lot more to environment management and package management than I have time to discuss here. But the page I just showed had more information, and Conda generally in their documentation has more information about those topics. As I said, Anaconda already includes most, if not all, of the packages you'll need for running the notebooks in this course. So it's unlikely that you'll really need to do much, if any, package management of your own. Since the Jupyter Hub will be shutting down to transition over for the next cohort, you will also want to make sure that you copy all these video links into a document that you save for yourself on your own computer. So you'll want to take all of these and copy those into a document for yourself. The video links will stay active. You can continue using them, but you simply won't have a list available to you at the Jupyter Hub anymore, because you will not be able to log into Jupyter Hub. Similarly, if you want to download any of the videos from the shared Google Drive folder, you should do that, because these will also be removed before the next cohort. The final order of business I'd like to advise is every cohort, after a month or two goes by, we get emails saying, I never received my certificate from the course. I completed the course, but I never got a certificate. And every single time when we've gone back to check the grades, that student has missed 1 or 2 questions, and they didn't realize that they never submitted a solution for that question. Go to your grades tab. Check that every problem has a score greater than 0. This is the only way that you can be certain that you will get a certificate. Every grade on this page must be greater than 0. If you see any grade that is not greater than 0, you need to go submit a solution for that problem in the mini project until you see a grade greater than 0 reflected in this grade book. So please double check that, triple check that. Don't end up one of those students sending an email that says, I completed the course but never received a certificate, and then we have to come back and say, actually, you never completed XYZ problems. So please, please, please make sure that you've answered all the questions. Remember, to get a certificate, you need a score greater than 0 on all the questions, and if you get an average score above 0.9, you'll receive an honors distinction on that certificate. Certificates will be distributed by email between 1 and 2 weeks after the conclusion of the course. Conclusion being when we shut down the Jupyter Hub. Currently, the plan is to shut down the Jupyter Hub on Monday, but if we shut it down later, then whenever 1 to 2 weeks after that shutdown occurs is when we will be distributing certificates. We will only be emailing about certificates to people who actually receive them. So if you don't get an email, you didn't receive a certificate, and it's because you never completed the course. What if you don't complete the course, or don't think you have time to complete the course? What should you do? Well, applications are currently open for the April cohort. So if you go to wqu-apply.thedataincubator.com, just as you did to apply to this cohort, you can apply to the next cohort. And you should just, if you want a second shot at this course, you should just apply again to Unit 1. If you completed this course and you would like to move on to Unit 2, apply and mark yourself as interested in Unit 2. Even if you are receiving a certificate, you must apply. You will be automatically accepted and your application will be accepted, guaranteed. We will make application decisions by April 1st. So you'll apply to Unit 2, and then by April 1st, we will send you an email saying that congratulations, you've been accepted. That's if you completed Unit 1. But you must apply. It's the way our systems work. You must have an application on file to be registered as a student. That said, if you complete Unit 1, you don't have to be worried about getting the right answers on the application. You could get all wrong answers, and we'll simply check, did this person complete Unit 1? Okay, accept them for Unit 2. So don't stress out about the application, just we do need an application on file in order to register you as a student. Keep in mind, if you're ever confused about what your application status is, that website has an applicant status page. It will display the cohort that you're looking for a status for, and then your status. Some of you may see something like status for 2019-04 cohort, as well as a status for the 2019-01 cohort. In fact, all of you would see that since you're currently enrolled in the 2019-01 cohort. And the 2019-01 cohort will say you are enrolled in Unit 1. And then your status for 2019-04, after you submit an application, will be something like your application was received. You may have multiple statuses here. Read carefully. We've gotten several emails about confused students who think, they see Unit 1 on this page and they think, oh no, I've applied for Unit 1 when I meant to apply for Unit 2. But if you read carefully, it says you are currently enrolled in Unit 1 for 2019-01. And then it says your application was received for 2019-04. So that's some notes on retaking Unit 1, applying for Unit 2, and continuing your education with our program. I would also like to share some resources for continuing your education outside of this program. First of all, as I highlighted in a previous video, HackerRank is a great website for practicing programming. You can log in and if we look around, we see there's Python challenges where we can practice Python. There's SQL challenges where we can practice SQL. And there's also general problem solving challenges that we can solve in any number of languages, although you should be practicing Python. And both algorithms and data structures has a lot of great kind of computer science type challenges that teach concepts like dynamic programming and how hash tables work. And that sort of thing, things that we covered very early on in the course but went through rather quickly. Once again, I also want to highlight this free online book, Problem Solving with Algorithms and Data Structures Using Python. This is a great resource for those of you who are new to programming and new to computer science. It covers a lot of fundamental topics that we covered quite briefly, and gives example implementations of all these ideas in Python. Sorry about the noise, that's my cat coming to say hello. So that's another great resource. There's also other Python primers and courses. If you found that you were struggling in this course and would like an alternative for brushing up your Python chops, on a very basic level, Codecademy has an interactive Python course, which let's see if I log in. Yeah, so you don't need Pro. Pro is paid, but just as the free version, you can take their Learn Python course. It's free and pretty basic, but therefore easy to get along with. That's a good resource if you were really struggling. This is not what I'm talking about. Where's the free one? Huh. I wonder if Codecademy has gotten rid of their free courses. That would be a shame. So this Python 2 one, okay, so Python 2 is still free. For some reason, Python 3 is only available if you pay, but Python 2 and Python 3 are extremely similar. So the Python 2 class could be useful even if you're wanting to learn more Python 3, just because Python 2 and Python 3 are almost identical. So yeah, very simple course, very easy to get along with. Google also has a Python course. that I think is quite good. It has instructions for setting up Python as well. I would recommend not following these and instead using the Anaconda distribution that I described earlier. The Google Python course is assumes Python 2, but again, Python 2 and Python 3 are extremely similar, so this shouldn't really be a problem. If you want to prepare for Unit 2, I would recommend that you brush up a little on your linear algebra, your statistics, your calculus. You don't need to be an expert, but understanding basic matrix algebra, understanding basic statistics like the type that we covered in this course and that I shared in a video playlist of tutorials for, and understanding at least derivatives from calculus is useful for understanding machine learning, which is what's covered in Unit 2. I also have compiled a YouTube playlist of machine learning tutorial videos, and I will include that in the email as well if you want to get a jump start. So those are some resources you can use for continuing your learning or preparing for retaking this unit or taking the next unit, and how to download all the course materials to your computer and get started with them. Oh, right, I didn't actually show. So I can, if I unzip this data course directory, which I'm not doing, or I'm doing it off screen, and then I can launch a Jupyter Notebook server from my personal computer. So here we have a new tab. This is my downloads folder, and there is a data course directory here that I unzipped. And if we click into that, we see the directory structure from Jupyter Hub. So this is my personal computer. The address here is localhost. So I'm connected just to my own computer. But we see all the notebooks from the class here. And here's the classes in ORM 1 that we had just gone over this week. And you can run these cells just as you would on Jupyter Hub. So looks the exact same, runs the exact same. Okay, yeah, just the one thing to be aware of here is where you are storing the data course directory on your personal computer. You'll have to navigate there from your home directory where you launch the Jupyter Notebook server. Okay, so that wraps up continuing beyond this course and concluding this course. I hope you have enjoyed this course and that you've learned a lot, and I hope to see you in the next cohort.